was planning to help you get everything organized for the shower, but from the looks of this, you have everything under control. This table is gorgeous.
Well, I've been trying my best. Oh, and you should see the cake Miss Ryan made in the kitchen. She just frosted it. It's great.
Oh, baby. I thank you for your help. On this short notice, I couldn't have done it without you.
Oh, Mom, during the shower tonight, what are Dad and Mike going to do?
Oh, I think that Steve is going to drive Carol Lee over here, so they'll probably have a party of their own in the kitchen. I think I'll call MJ, ask her if Tom would like to come along. You know, sometimes I think the groom feels left out before the wedding when all the attention is centered on the bride.
Oh, okay, turn around. Okay, let's see. What do you think? It's absolutely perfect on you, MJ. Well, it might be just a bit long, but I can fix that.
I think just a little.
Oh, let me get this first. A lot of... Hello?
Hi, MJ. It's Maggie Powers.
Hi, Maggie.
Darling, I'm calling because I think that Steve is probably going to drive Carol Lee over here, and he will probably stay and chat with Mike and Matt, and I thought if Tom wanted to come along, he's more than welcome.
That's so sweet of you. I'll tell you what, I'll ask him when he gets back. He's out at the tailor with my brother-in-law right now getting fitted for his wedding suit.
Oh, look, listen, ask your brother-in-law to come along if he'd like to.
Oh, you're a love. I will. That's very nice of you. And I am looking forward to tonight.
Oh, so are we. Okay, dear, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.
All right, Maggie, so long. Betsy, I don't believe this. I feel as if 2 days ago I was proposed to, and now the day after tomorrow is the wedding.
Well, you won't know what day it is from here on in, believe me.
You're right. Oh, that was Maggie Powers. She's invited Dick and Tom over tonight. Apparently the men are having a little celebration of their own.
Well, Dick won't be able to go. Someone has to stay with Ricky.
Of course. How could I forget about Ricky?
Well, it won't be too long now before you'll be finding out all about the little joys of parenthood and responsibilities. And listen, now don't tell Midge when she gets here, but if your first is a boy, you won't have to worry about clothes, because I've saved all of Ricky's, and I just love to pass them on to you.
Betsy, I want to talk with you. I have ever since you got here, but we haven't had time to be alone.
Well, what is it?
I don't want the rest of the family to know about this, but you and I have always been sort of especially close, so I want to tell you.
Okay, go ahead.
Tom and I may never be able to have children of our own.
The doctors will return in just a moment.
Is the sleeve ranks all right, mister?
Yeah, it looks fine to me. What do you think, Dick?
Yeah, it looks good to me. Of course, I'm no judge. I haven't worn a suit since Betsy and I got married. I've been wearing jeans and work shirts since then.
I would like to make a small adjustment on the jacket. If you don't mind waiting a few minutes, you can take it home with you.
Okay, that'd be fine. Is that okay with you?
Sure.
Thank you.
Tom, you know, since we got to Madison, everything's been so hectic. I really haven't had a chance to officially welcome you to the family.
Thanks. You and Betsy are very special to MJ. I guess you know that. And you too, Ricky.
She's quite a girl.
Oh, yeah. Meeting MJ is the luckiest thing ever happened to me. Turned around my whole life, really.
Yeah, the match girls have a way of doing that. Well, wait till you meet the rest of the family. They're just great and close. I mean, it might take you a while to get used to it. You're going to think you married the whole family.
I guess all big families are pretty close, huh?
Yeah, well, not necessarily. You know, I came from a big family, but they're nothing like my in-laws.
How many brothers and sisters do you have?
I don't have any, Ricky. I'm an only child.
Me too.
And you're not too happy about that either, are you, Ricky, huh? We just haven't been able to afford more families since we've been fixing up the farm, you know, getting it back on its feet.
But soon, right, Dad?
Right. Your mom and I are just as eager as you are. And you know what else? I think you might have some cousins coming when Aunt MJ and Tom get together and get married, huh?
And it wasn't until Tom's father's case was diagnosed that they realized that this was a hereditary disease that could be passed on.
his grandmother finally died of it, too.
So there's a chance that Tom has Huntington's disease?
Betsy, according to the doctors, there's a 50-50 chance that he could get it. And there is no way of detecting this deleterious gene until the symptoms start to occur. Usually that happens when you're in your early 30s.
How awful. Well, and there's no real cure.
No, not yet. That's why Tom's father took his own life. He couldn't face it.
I can understand why Tom doesn't want to have children.
Tom has had to live with this awful uncertainty all his life. He feels it would be wrong to bring a child into the world knowing that this child would have to grow up living with the same uncertainty.
Yes, but MJ, there's always the hope that they will find a cure. And in time for you and Tom to have your own family.
Well, that's exactly what we have to do, is live with that hope. Hope of either finding a cure or a means of detecting it during pregnancy. Listen, there's research being done right now as we're talking.
MJ, I just admire your courage so much, marrying Tom, knowing...
Oh, listen, it would take a lot more courage for me to give him up. No, what we have to do is just enjoy our lives and never stop hoping.
I really respect both of you for that. I'm not sure I could feel that way.
Listen, Betsy, if we can't have children, we'll adopt some.
Sure.
It was very important for me to tell you this. Please, please, don't let it put a damper on what I want to be the happiest day of my life.
Oh, I won't, MJ. I promise.
Steve and I did talk things over and decided I'm going to stay here while he's in San Francisco. See how things work out.
Oh, we'll make them work out, you'll see. Oh, this is your home now.
Mother's absolutely right. Having you here is going to make an enormous difference to the kids.
Here's one more thing. I think we ought to be completely honest from the beginning. If I do decide to stay on after Steve comes back, and then if things don't work out, for whatever reason, well, I just don't want to feel that I'm going to hurt either one of you if I decide to take the children and go somewhere else to live.
I'll understand, I promise.
Hey, come on. One day at a time, okay? Listen, whenever you're ready, I'll help you move your stuff over here.
Well, I thought I'd start moving in tomorrow, if it's all right.
Oh, as soon as possible.
Well, we can begin moving your things in right after work tomorrow.
Oh, no, listen, I have 2 days off, so it's perfect. I can practically move myself. Besides, with Tom and MJ's brother-in-law, I'm sure they'll help me.
Isn't it nice that you have a couple of days off just at the time of MJ's wedding?
I'll be making up for it. I have 7 days of 10-hour shifts coming up.
Oh, Carolee, please don't ever worry about the children while you're working, because I'll be here with them.
Good. Well, listen, as long as I'm going to be here tomorrow, why don't I help you with the rehearsal party?
Yeah, and as long as it was my big fat idea, why don't I volunteer my services?
Please, don't give it another thought. Virginia and I will work out everything. She's absolutely marvelous with parties.
Listen, I hope you don't mind, but I know MJ's family very well. I do hope you're planning a simple and formal thing.
Well, I was planning just a very simple buffet on the patio. That'd be all right?
Sounds perfect. Hey, we've got to get going. Oh, I forgot I promised Maggie I'd get there before the guests, so I would help.
Oh, please give Madam Maggie my very best. Carolee, I am so happy about your decision.
So am I. See you later.
Good night.
Good night, darling. Have a good time.
Won't be late.
Thank you.
Good night.
Excuse me. If it's all right, I'll be leaving now, Mrs. Croft.
Oh, yes, fine. Virginia, I have to tell you. What? Carolee has decided that she's moving in here with us tomorrow.
Oh, how wonderful for the children.
Yes, I was thinking maybe you would fix I think the bedroom next to Stephanie's, so that first thing in the morning.
I will, gladly. I'd do it now, but Sarah and I have been invited to MJ's shower at the Powers house tonight.
Oh, I didn't realize that you were so close to MJ.
Well, I got to know her when she and Penny shared that apartment in our building, but it's the boy she's marrying I'm really close to. Tom and Jerry, best friends all through college.
Oh, I see. Seems like a very nice young man.
Yes. He quite touched me. The other night he asked me to stand in for his mother at the wedding.
Oh, then you'll actually be in the wedding party?
Yes, ma'am. I'll be going to the rehearsal tomorrow night. And...
Oh, and the party following?
Why, I mean, if you don't need me, of course.
Well, Virginia, that does sort of a little problem. You see, Steve is giving the party, and it's going to be here.
I'll just tell her it's impossible.
Oh, no. Of course not. We'll find some other way. Might be a little awkward for you to be... well, I'll ask the caterers to bring some extra help.
I don't like to inconvenience you like this at the last moment, Mrs. Crawford.
Please don't give it another thought. Just if you will stay and help me organize things before you have to leave.
Of course, gladly. Anything I can do.
Fine. Good night.
Good night, Miss.
She did a good job.
I should say.
Something smells good, too.
Oh, well, we can thank Rose for that.
Oh, yummy.
Hi, Dad.
Oh, hi, sweetie.
Hey, Mike.
Hi. How are you?
How was your first day?
Well, I just spent most of the time observing the field unit at work today.
And what'd you think?
Well, I think I have my work cut out for me.
Oh, well, now, don't be overwhelmed by it. I think in no time at all it'll be second nature.
Thank you, young lady. That's just what I've been trying to tell him all the way home.
We'll see about that. Say, where's Michael Paul?
He's in the kitchen eating dinner.
Oh, well, I'm pretty hungry myself. Think I'll join him.
Oh, now listen, you two. Do not touch any of the food that's for the shower. Rose has everything looking absolutely beautiful.
All right, but what have you got in mind for the hard-working men of the family?
Cold cuts and salad. Live with it.
Are you kidding? What do you got here?
Hello.
Hi, Caroline.
Steve. Good. Glad to see you. Come in, listen. Mike and I are going to have our own party in the kitchen. How about joining us? Can I join you? Please. Sounds good.
Oh, I got a letter from Billy today. He said that he's going to stay up at that camp until the weekend after Labor Day to make extra money.
Can't he get ready for college that soon?
Well, I don't know. He seems to think so. We called him last night with some rather good news.
What was that?
My friend here is going to move into the house. At least until I get back from the convention in San Francisco.
That must have really made him happy. Yeah, I think it did. Listen, why don't you come over the first day he comes back? We'll have a little dinner party. I'd love to. MJ's present. Give it to me. What should I do with it?
Look, Greta set us up for all the gifts.
Isn't he gorgeous? Well, I came here to help. What am I supposed to do?
Well, thanks to Greta, everything's organized out here. Rose may need some help in the kitchen.
Wait, I'm on my way.
Where are you going?
Kitchen.
Mike, have a drink. Mike?
Oh, no, thanks, Dad.
Look at that. I'd almost forgotten all the fuss and craziness that goes into making a wedding.
Yeah, me too. Sure brings back a lot of memories. Well, if you'll excuse me, I think I'm going to take a look at Michael Paul.
Yes, sir. There you go. It was good to see Mike at the hospital today. Yep. Nobody was any happier about that than I was. Mike's trying hard to put his life back in order. Nothing is easy for him without Tony. Of course not. See the expression on his face when we were talking about wedding plans? Everything is a reminder for him. But today, he took his first step toward a new life. And at the risk of being a bit prejudiced, I think he's going to make it. I'll drink to that.
Here you go, Dick.
I just don't understand why Tom didn't come back with you and Ricky.
Well, I offered to wait for him, but he said he wanted to hang up his suit and get cleaned up, and he will get back here on his own.
Relax, MJ. I don't think he's planning on leaving town. Well, certainly not without calling
Very
first.
funny, very funny. I just don't want to be late for the shower. How's your hamburger, Ricky?
Good, Aunt MJ. You're a good cook.
I am a good cook, and especially a good cook for those who appreciate it.
Which reminds me, I want you out of the kitchen all day tomorrow.
Why?
Well, as soon as Ellie and Frank get here, we gotta start cooking for the reception.
Fine, but really, just don't get too tired for the rehearsal or Steve's party afterwards.
Where's that gonna be?
Would you believe that Steve's mother offered them her house?
Wow, that was really nice.
Yeah.
Does she know how big this family is?
I guess not. She's about to find out. Oh, by the way, kiddo, you are coming with us to the rehearsal and the wedding and the party and everything.
Great!
Yeah.
Oh, well, then, I think you better get to bed early tonight so you'll be in shape for a late night tomorrow. Okay?
Can I wait until you go?
Well, okay. But then, straight to bed after that. You hear? Okay?
I just don't understand what's keeping Tom.
MJ, would you relax? Here, put this on. It'll give you something to do.
All right, all
and then I can
right.
check the length before I press it.
All right, let me go.
You know, I don't think I've ever seen a happier bride to be in my life.
Well, I just hope she'll always be this happy.
Oh, hey, come on now. Save those tears for the wedding.
Okay.
You don't have any doubts, do you? I mean, Tommy's a great guy.
Oh, no, it's not that, Dick.
Well?
We women just always get a little teary-eyed and sentimental at weddings.
Well, I hope they'll be as happy as you make me. Whoa, that's the groom, I bet.
Nice to see you, Betsy.
Hi, Tom, you look wonderful.
And your bride was getting nervous.
What's to be nervous?
Oh, that's
You
good.
know these women at wedding time, it's like...
Turn around. It's bad luck for the groom to see the bride in the wedding dress before the ceremony.
I don't believe in any of those old superstitions, and neither should you. Nothing's gonna bring us bad luck, ever.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Listen, I've done enough advertising in your newspaper that we deserve a little bit more publicity in your columns. Right. Can't one of your writers do a special story on Nola dancing? I mean, she's the main attraction here. Right. Just the pictures and... Look, just do what you can, okay? Yeah, all right. Bye-bye. Well.
Well.
What a nice surprise.
Well, that kind of greeting just might make up for my previous depression.
What depressed you?
When I walked through the restaurant, and did you see the audience, or lack of it?
Yeah, well, it's a little early yet. Nola's gonna be on in about an hour.
Oh, well, let's hope all 5 of them are still here by then.
Don't you think you're exaggerating a little bit just to make a point?
All right, Beauty. What did this cost?
Standard rates? I don't really remember. Exactly.
Well, do you think that handful out there warrants this expense?
Listen, Doreen, I put that ad in the paper days ago only because this is the worst time of the year for business around here. All right? Business is gonna pick up, I guarantee you. You'll see.
Oh, I have been watching your sister ever since she came back and to work here. And may I tell you, I am not overjoyed by what I see.
You can't blame Nola for these slow weeks. Now, look, I've told
I
you over and over...
know, Beauty, what you have told me. But I don't think you can be objective about Nola.
And you can't.
Certainly.
Well, I don't believe that, Doreen. I think this has all been part of a personal vendetta that you got against Nola right from the very beginning.
Vendetta. That's a big word, Luke. But wrong.
I don't believe so.
Oh, I do. I'm more interested in words like investment and return. And I'm here to protect mine.
Look, just give Nola a chance. Just a fair chance.
I already have, and business is worse.
Then listen to her tonight. All right, the staff tells me last night they heard her new material and it sounded great.
The staff doesn't pay to hear her. The customers that do pay think Nola is old hat.
I keep telling you it's the time of year, Doreen.
Don't you raise your voice to me, Beauty. Now, I just happened to walk by the terrace room and all their tables are filled because they have a talented headliner that interests an audience.
Look, Doreen, can't you just... listen to her new material tonight? I mean, where's it gonna hurt? All right?
Well, all right. I wasn't planning on listening to it, but I will, and I will give you an objective and honest opinion.
The doctors will return in just a moment.
Well, you look very special tonight.
Thank you.
I don't want to upset you, but there's something you should know.
What is it?
I saw Doreen walk in here a few minutes ago.
That doesn't upset me.
Yeah, but she could still be here by the time you go on.
So what? Tell you the truth, I much prefer singing to Doreen to talking to her.
Well, you've got a point.
And that night you didn't show up for my reopening. She did everything she could to upset me. I made it through that night. I should make it through this one. Cheers.
Cheers.
But I wish I knew what was bothering Luke.
Why? What's wrong?
Well, I ran into him earlier outside my dressing room. He seemed really nervous. Hard to talk to.
Well, it could be the size of the audience that's worrying him. There are more waiters than customers.
He's been around this business long enough to know this is the worst week of the year for clubs.
Maybe we should be glad Doreen came in.
I won't go that far. Did she say anything to you?
Well, I don't think she saw me.
So where is she? She's not at the bar.
Nola, I don't know, and I really don't care.
maybe she's with the new owner, trying to calm him down.
Now, come on. I know that expression too well. What are you trying to say?
I have heard from a lot of people that Luke used to spend a lot of time in Doreen's suite when he was working in the hotel. And maybe he still does.
Well, for Luke's sake, I hope it was only on hotel business.
Why?
Because I've seen a few of the guys that Doreen found amusing after she got bored with him. It wasn't a pretty sight.
Jason, maybe that's why Luke was so nervous. Now, she could have easily come down here to check up on her investments, you know?
I don't know anything of the kind, and neither do you.
Look, she never came down here so often before Luke bought the place, right?
Persistent, aren't you?
Yeah, when something interests me. And it really interests me to know where Luke got the money to pay for this place.
Why?
Well, wouldn't it interest you if you found out that Doreen paid for it?
The thought has occurred to me.
And you never mentioned it to me.
No, it's Doreen's money, and it's Doreen's life.
And there is still one thing I can't figure out about all this.
What's that?
Where does Eleanor Conrad fit into it? I know almost for a fact that she and Luke were very cozy not too long ago.
Well, maybe they're not cozy now.
I know Luke still sees her.
Could we change the subject? I'm much more interested in talking about you than speculating about your brother.
Okay. Ooh, there is Doreen at the bar. Luke's not with her.
Well, probably because he's headed for our table.
Hi, Jason.
Hi, Luke.
Nola? Well, is everything all right here?
Yeah, it's fine. I'm sorry you don't have more of a crowd.
Yeah, well. Listen, Nola, are you going to use your new material tonight?
Oh, I was going to save it for my second set. I thought maybe I'd have an audience by then.
Well, I really wish you'd use it for your first set.
Why?
I wasn't here last night, and I've really been anxious to listen to it.
Well, okay, Luke, you're the boss.
Yeah. Well, listen, talk to you later.
Okay.
Marrying a man who likes to eat.
It's a match made in heaven.
Oh, yeah.
Give it to me. I'm gonna put it in the bag with the rest of the stuff.
You made quite a haul tonight.
How can I thank everybody so much? Believe me, we can use anything we can get.
How about some more coffee? And there's leftover cake. I'll give you a doggy bag.
Oh, everything was so good. I'm stuffed.
Oh, yes.
Whoa. When we get back to the hospital, we'll have to get used to calling you Mrs. Carroll.
Oh, I love the sound of that already.
MJ, do you know that tonight was the first night I've ever met Tom?
Oh.
He's really nice and handsome, too.
Oh,
thank
you're right, Greta. I don't know how my kid sister got so lucky.
I've known Tom for a long time. He's a lovely, fine boy. You're going to be very happy.
Thank you, Mrs. Dancing. Oh, it's happened so fast, I just can't believe it.
I believe it when we give her her first baby shower.
Yes. Well, I think I'll probably get nervous enough when I walk down the aisle day after tomorrow shaking like a leaf.
Hey, who are you kidding? The way that guy looks at you every time he sees you, you have to believe it.
Patsy, I am sorry that your husband didn't come along and join the men.
Well, he stayed at MJ's with Ricky. Well, our son doesn't know what a babysitter is. Well, because up at the farm, we're just all together.
That's nice.
Hey, I better be getting back and see how Dick's doing. I mean, Ricky's probably fallen sound asleep by now. We still have to get him back to the hotel.
Oh, Betsy, why don't you let him stay over?
Oh, honey, so you have enough to think about tomorrow without having to worry about a very active 6-year-old.
Charlie, I can do ribbons, too.
Well, you sure it's all right?
No trouble, no trouble.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Listen, MJ, we really have to go.
Oh,
Me too. Some of us still have to work tomorrow. Thank you, Dr. Powers. It really was a lot of
Oh,
fun.
you're quite welcome. Thank you both for coming.
Good night.
See you later.
I'll be there. Thank you for the present.
I guess I better go tell Steve and Tom that we're about ready.
Good idea.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess so.
Let's get all this stuff.
Anything I can take out?
MJ, I just want you to know that I don't know two people more suited for each other than you and Tom. And I know that you are going to have a wonderful life together.
Thank you. You know, I really feel as if my luck started changing the day I caught Penny's wedding bouquet.
Oh, God, I remember that.
Right. I don't believe in superstition or anything like that, but I did meet Tom that day. He was one of Jerry's ushers.
Guys, somehow I think there's more to it than just catching a bouquet.
Nonetheless, the day after tomorrow, that bouquet is going to be aimed straight at you.
Okay, I'll do my best to catch it.
Okay.
Betsy, it was lovely meeting you.
Nice to meet you too, Sarah. Hey, listen, can I do something? Help with
no,
this
no,
stuff?
no. Listen, why don't you just talk to MJ until we get back?
Okay.
Oh, gosh.
What nice people.
I really enjoyed myself tonight. Yeah.
Hey, I'm sorry about that little remark, you know, about the baby shower.
Oh, come on now. I have to get used to stuff like that. People don't know. I can't let it bother me.
You tossed it off beautifully, I must say.
Betsy, I meant what I said about never having been happier. I love Tom. He loves me. We're going to have a wonderful life together. And I can't let him think for one single moment that I have a regret about anything.
Thanks very much, Mr. Hitchcock. We really enjoyed the dinner.
It's my pleasure, Ted. And it's lovely meeting you, Wendy.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
I hope Ted and I haven't bored you to death with our business discussions.
Not at all.
Good, good. Well, you two young people stay and enjoy yourselves. I'll talk to you in the morning, Ted.
Good night, sir.
Good night. Good night.
More coffee? Another drink?
No, I'd just like to get out of here.
Wendy, I'm really sorry. When Hitchcock suggested Andres, there was nothing I could do about it.
I'm not blaming you, Ted. I know that when these business things come up, there's nothing you can do. I didn't want to ask you in front of Mr. Hitchcock, but what did Jason Aldrich say to you when you stopped by his table?
Oh, he just thanked me for bringing in your mother's files so promptly. Oh, he couldn't have been nicer.
Of course, he's going to get a very healthy retainer from Mother.
Wendy, you can't blame Jason Aldrich for what happened.
But I can blame him for being so taken in by Luke Dancy. I'm certain that it was Luke who persuaded Mother to hand over her legal affairs to Jason. He's so close to the whole Dancy family.
And he's a wonderful lawyer. Your mother couldn't be in better hands.
I don't know how you can say that when you know that he's representing Luke, too.
One has nothing to do with the other. Now, let's change the subject, okay?
I'm sorry, but it's hard to think about anything else. Luke hovering around here. And then remembering how badly Mother behaved the last time we were here.
I know how difficult that was for you. I only wish I'd been here in time to help.
No one can help when she gets like this. 1 minute she was perfectly fine. And then the next, when she saw Luke at the bar with a couple of young girls, she went to pieces. You saw her leave. It was horrible.
Did you get a chance to talk to her about getting some help?
Of course. But she wouldn't even consider it. She kept on insisting that she was perfectly fine. Just the way she always does when she's on the verge of another breakdown. Ted, that's what I'm really worried about. Your father knew about Mother's problem, but Jason Aldrich doesn't. And he won't know until it's too late.
Well, I'll go wait in my dressing room until it's time to go on.
Good luck.
Thanks. Make lots of noise, will you?
Sure.
Well, good evening.
Hi.
You look so lonely over here.
Well, that's funny. I wasn't at all.
Well, Jason, where are your manners? Aren't you going to offer me a drink?
Look, Lorraine, I don't want to sound rude, but I'd rather Nola didn't see you sitting here when she goes on.
Oh? Well, one would think she'd be glad to have anyone come in here.
Nola told me about your remarks to her the night she reopened here. Now, if you're trying to discourage her, where I'm concerned, you're using the wrong techniques.
Oh, Jason, she simply misunderstands everything I say.
I don't think so. There's one thing I want to make clear. I don't interfere in your life. I don't want you interfering in mine.
I just think you should be a trifle wiser before you do anything to hurt something that's worked so well for us.
Nola's about to go on now. I think it's time for you to leave.
All right.
Nola will be going on any minute now.
I'm aware of that, and I'm trying desperately to control my enthusiasm.
Look, Doreen, just listen to Nola's material, all right? You may change your mind about it.
He is out. God, these have been crazy days for all of us.
Oh, someday you're going to look back on them and they won't be crazy. They'll just be wonderful and romantic, I suppose. Let's go. No, really, I mean it. I think it is the most exciting time when you're starting life with someone. I think it's the happiest time, too.
Oh, my darling, I am so happy. You and Steve and the children will be living together while you're trying to work things out.
Oh, I don't know. It's just going to be such a tricky adjustment for me. Living together, but not as man and wife.
Well, listen, Betsy tells me that there are adjustments to make in any marriage, no matter how much two people love each other.
Well, of course, you know that's true. Big thing is being honest about everything. That's where Steve and I really made our big mistake. Both of us, we just thought we had such a perfect marriage that we couldn't have any problems. Well, that's where we were wrong.
But you learned. It won't happen again.
Well, I have to make sure it's not going to happen again. There are things that can go wrong. And may never be another time in my life when I forget who I am. I discovered that loving is not losing yourself, it's finding yourself. And I learned the hard way.
Well, Carolee, so many things can go wrong in a marriage. Stuff that you don't even think about.
Hey, don't you think about it now. You're doing everything right. You and Tom have been very honest with each other right from the beginning.
I think it's all right to be a little scared.
Yes, of course I do. Otherwise, there'd be something wrong with you.
Okay.
And I'm not worried. That's why I'm going to go and get ready for bed.
All right. I'll be in a minute.
Enjoyed those new numbers tonight. You seem to be right on top of them.
They felt a lot more comfortable than they did last night.
Look, you must have heard how enthusiastic your audience was, small or not.
No, I didn't pay any attention to them. I was singing just for you.
There, thank you.
Now, didn't Nola's new stuff sound great?
I'll give you an agent's name, a very good one in New York, who you can contact.
For what?
Oh, so he can help you find Nola's replacement. You can give her 2 weeks' notice, I think. That's standard. Oh, listen, we'll talk about all that later.